Welcome to the White Academy. I'm John by name. Today's class, we are going to be looking how to name alkane compounds. Please, as you watch, don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you and enjoy the class. Welcome to the White Academy. In today's class, we are going to be looking at organic chemistry. Under organic chemistry, we'll be looking at the naming of the alkanes compounds, how to name alkane compounds. Now, we have rules, the IUPAC rule. Do you all know what IUPAC is? They have a rule of naming this compound. So we are going to follow their rules to name some certain compounds in today's class. And these rules are: 1. You identify longest carbon chain. In the compound, you identify the longest carbon chain. Secondly, we also identify the substituent. Identify the substituent present. 3. You number the carbons. Number the carbon chain. That is the first rule now. You now number them. Carbon chains. Number 4. If the substituents are more than one, for example, we have 2 different substituents attached to the parent chain, you identify them. You identify substituents. If more than one, and call them according to their alphabetical order. According to the alphabets. With this I mean, for example, you have a Thai group, ethyl substituent and methyl substituent. You all know that E comes before M. So we identify E before we identify M. That's what we mean. Then the 5th rule: if the same substituent appears more than one time on the chain, we use prefix such as di, tri, or tetra, as the case may be, to identify them. So these are the basic 5 rules we are going to consider in this class. Okay, we have an example on the board. This is our first example. And in this example, we are asked to just name the alkane compound. Now, we are going to apply our rules to name this compound now. So just watch closely and enjoy the class. Now, the first rule says we should not identify the longest carbon chain. How do you identify the longest carbon chain? You simply count the carbon bonds present and see which way gives you the longest. Now, you count. We'll start by the left. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the first way to count. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2 ways, you can clearly see that the first way gives us the longest chain, which is 6. We have 6 carbon on the first count we did. So this is automatically the longest carbon chain. Now, we will not end by that to just name the compound. We'll consider all the rules before we name the compound. The second one says we should identify the substituent present. Now, we'll now look at the substituent is what is attached to the straight carbon chain. Now, we have the first substituent here and we have the second substituent here. So we have 2 substituents attached to the longest carbon chain. Now the third rule says we should name the longest carbon chain. And before we name the longest carbon chain, the fourth rule says if we have two groups, the rule says if we should count from the side that gives the substituent the lowest number. As we are counting now, we count from the side that will give the substituent the lowest number. So if we count from the left, automatically the second carbon chain will give us the first substituent, so it will give us the lowest. So we start counting like this. When we count with number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, when naming, for us to name this compound, another rule says we have to consider if we have two substituents, we'll consider their alphabetical spelling, the way they are spelled. Like for this substituent, this is the methyl and this is ethyl. And ethyl starts with E. We have ethyl as this. And we have methyl as this. So, if you look closely, you discover that E comes before M. So we are going to start with E. And now, the last rule says the number of carbon chain, that particular carbon chain that the substituent is, must be considered while naming. So once we want to name, we'll consider the number. If it's the third one, we'll write 2. If it's the fourth one, we'll write 4, as the case may be. Now, before we do that, we normally use dashes and commas while naming. We don't space. The dashes, we use dashes between alphabet and number, and we use commas between numbers. We have two numbers. For example, if we have 1, 2, we'll not put comma to differentiate them. If we have 2 ethyl, this is how we write it. We use dashes to indicate numbers and alphabets. Now, let's name this compound. Having considered our rules, the name of the compound will be, first one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Because ethyl comes before methyl, we'll pick ethyl first. So we write 4 ethyl. Now, 1, 2, we have methyl. So we have here 2, methyl, and because the carbon is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have hex. Hex is 6. We all know that hex is 6. Then, because it's an alkane group, we have hexane. So the name of this compound is simply 4 ethyl 2 methyl hexane. Okay, this is our second example. We have another example on the board to trash. Now, we still apply our rules. First, we identify the longest carbon chain and name them. I hope you'll be familiar with the rules, and so we'll be a little bit faster. Now, we first count like this from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We discover the straight chain gives us the longest chain. We count from the left too. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But our rule says we count from the side that gives the substituent the lowest number. So 1, 2, 3. Here will be 3. If you count from there, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The substituent will be 5. So we consider the side that gives us the lowest number on the substituent. Now, that is the first rule. And we also have two substituents, just like in the previous example. We have the methyl and the ethyl group. But here we have the methyl attached to the third carbon bond in 2 ways. So we are going to, there's a way we name it, and I'm going to let you know. Now, let's start our naming. Let's number from here, because this side will give us the lowest number to the substituent. So we have the first carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 carbons. And now, our first substituent is what? The methyl. Considering our rules, methyl and ethyl, ethyl comes before methyl. So we are going to name it now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 ethyl. We have 1, 2, 3. Then we have 3. Because we have 2 ethyl. 1 ethyl here, 1. That's why we call it 3, 3. Because the ethyls are 2, we now put di. Di means 2. We have 4 ethyl, 3, 3 di. Methyl, because it's 7 carbon, we have 18. So that is it. This is our third example. And we are going to name this compound as we have named the previous one. So we'll consider our rules again. we start counting our longest carbon chain. Let's count from the left now, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have one way, we have another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in whichever way we follow, we are having 7 carbon chain. So, but we have to consider the other rules before naming. And this rule says we should identify the substituents and count from the side that gives the substituent the lowest number. So clearly, if we are saying, we will know that counting from the left side will give the second carbon the lowest number. So we are going to count from the left now. So we now number our chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we'll now apply other rules to them. So in naming this compound, we are going to count. 1, 2. On the second chain we have methyl, third one we have methyl, and the fifth one we have methyl again. So we're going to write it this way. 2, 3, and 5. Try methyl. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. On 4 we have propyl. So we're going to have 4 propyl, and because the carbons are 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're going to have heptene. So the name of this compound is 2,3,5-trimethyl 4-propyl heptene. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.